Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Minecraft the Hard Way. I'm your host, Kieran Dave, and I'm here to talk to you about what's on next on the plate. So, we've defeated the Lord of Torment, and we've been subject to another attack on our home by those shady, dodgy people over that way. Let's face it, they're shady and dodgy. Bebop Vox, Ridge Dog, Verbal Processing. But we're not going to let that slow us down. I wanted to show you briefly some new spells I've been experimenting with, because I constantly need to experiment with these spells, basically. I don't really know, like with all the changes to ours, I don't think anybody's really an expert these days. But you did see at one point Shining Darkness. We could see takes half my mana to call down a very powerful attack from the sky. Honestly, very hard to hit with, though, for a variety of reasons. And you've seen most of my other attacks, although this new Inazuma 1 is a lightning wave attack I'm experimenting with. The wave shape is interesting, but not as good as I'd like it to be just yet. It can be very expensive. I've had more success on the front of other spells, not the least of which is, of course, Flight and Blink, which have been fantastic, but now two stealth spells. One, Embrace of the Dark, is just sort of a general running around spell. This makes me invisible and allows me to move around pretty much undetected with full night vision, so that there is no dark for me. This spell is inexpensive to spam, can last a long time, and if I'm not carrying anything, no mobs will aggro me. Really fantastic. See? The other spell we've got is Spectral Walk. Now this spell has multiple casting modes. Let's just cast the self version so you can actually see it. This doesn't give night vision, but it gives Spell Reflect and True Sight. Now, if I were to hit F5 and show myself, you would see that I actually have a rune combination over my head. That rune combination can be used to summon me to any ritual circle in Ars Magica. Let me show you. There is a ritual over here. I finally figured this out. It's something that's been bugging me for a while. Rituals. And we can do a ritual of Recall Other. If I told somebody that, they could use this arrangement and toss in runes of the right type and then cast Recall in the center of it with all the runes arranged around it, and it would summon me. And I get no choice in the matter unless I have Astral Distortion on. So, whoa. Hi, Kathy Pyre. Well, I mean, good to see you too, or not. So, yeah, Kathy Pyre aside, we've got a lot to do. Now, what we need to do first is work on basically layering ourselves with more protections. Now, there's something we've been sort of skimping on. We've sort of not been doing a great job of it, and that is vanilla enchantment. Now, before we can do that, though, we need a special material. It's actually, oh, hello, Bumperella. It's actually something that we haven't really used in a long time. Bauxite. So let's go ahead and request all of our bauxite, because we are going to be delving into Mariculture. Let me get the bauxite, and I'm going to need a few buckets of lava while that comes in. And I'll meet you back over at the old base. Actually, before I go over there, let me show you something else I've been experimenting with. This is another spell I've got called Ender Stride. Much more expensive than my standard Blink. The standard Blink only costs 80 mana. Mirror Walk, I call it. And that lets me just teleport through walls and whatnot. But this new spell is a longer and a little bit more dangerous travel spell. It allows me to travel a substantially greater distance, and when I arrive, I also drop off with slow fall and with invisibility on. So it sort of means I can blink into a situation and not really understand it, but watch, even from down here, we can come all the way out here, out of the house. It's really quite really expensive, and you only get a brief amount of particles showing you that this has occurred at all. So it's actually a really powerful spell, really useful, just gives you a second of invisibility so you can sort of assess what's going on. Now, the reason we're over here is because we're going to basically sit down and refine all of this aluminum out. We're going to get as much of it done as we can, because what we're going to be working on, you might have guessed, is Mariculture style enchanting. Now let me show you. Basically, by taking some iron, some glass panes, and a bunch of aluminum, we can start to actually create a fairly interesting set of tools. These are mirrors, and these mirrors not only allow you to don Mariculture jewelry, which, as you can see, there are several interesting recipes for, right? Including pearl necklaces and all these other things, right? But it also allows us to get really cool enchants like Poison Ivy. They, at the highest level, can make us immune to poison. Inferno, that at the highest level can make us immune to fire. Restoration, which can repair our armor at max level. That's really interesting. Ever since, I don't know if you folks know, but the repair enchant no longer works on anything. It only works on Thaumium and Thaumcraft gear. So you can't use it the way you used to. You could get on a book and then transfer it off. We've got 1-up. We'll add a certain number of hearts. So you can see we can add even more life. We could never be hungry. We could run faster, jump higher, step up to 2 blocks. Or actually, I guess 1.5 blocks. Glide, resists fall, climb, blink. Really interesting. Just a whole host of these things. But these don't work on normal armor. They only work on special... let's see, let's get this down there. They only work in the special case of the Mariculture jewelry. So we've got to refine a whole bunch of this stuff and get it all out. So give me just a minute to do that, and we'll start taking ingots back over to the base. All right, we've got 2 stacks of aluminum, and it barely took any lava. Not that lava is much of a problem for us. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this in the system. Why don't we give it its own barrel, since I suspect we're going to want a lot more of this now that we're going to find a use for it. Because we're probably going to have to do some mariculture fishing to get exactly what we want. Hello, Noisy Frog. And that is tricky. All right, so if that's the case, then what we need to do is start making our mirrors. To make a mirror, the first one is pretty simple. We need a glass pane. I think pretty much everything we just have in the system. But to go further than that, to this next one, we're going to need to make some other stuff too. We're going to need 4 pearls. We're also going to need an enchantment table. These storage bookshelves are kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest. But we should be able to teach the system how to craft bookshelves and books. And so why don't we do that really fast? All I have to do is request some crafting. Let's see, we need to do books, bookshelves. Yeah, so let's go ahead and then do 2 of those and 2 of those. And while those are coming up, let's head down here. We're starting to run out of room for this crafting area. So yeah, all we have to do is teach the system to make books. Now, it occurs to me that we should probably grab a piece of spruce wood. Not sprice wood, but spruce wood. To correct NEI and its strange interpretation of all of these things. So let's, because otherwise it'll try and use oak wood always, so let's go ahead and make the book. It's really quite simple for us. And then for this one, we're going to want to make the book case. But as you can see, it's going to try and use oak wood by default. Now, as soon as our spruce wood gets here, we should be able to just go ahead and correct that since we have unlimited spruce on supply. And that's our primary wood. There we go. And just like that, that should be all that we need. So let's just go ahead and affix these. And then I don't have a wrench on hand. That's not like me at all. Should be simple enough now. So one of the, I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating that one of the really great strengths of this system over applied energistics is that there is no difference between crafting and not crafting. So we got a mirror now. Let's go ahead and let's just pick a chest where all our mirror junk will go. We'll probably need to make a dedicated Mariculture chest at some point, but for now we can toss it in this tech chest. That's the only weakness of the system, is that it really wants to have everything in it. It isn't very smart. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next level of mirror. The next level of mirror needs an enchantment table, 4 pearls, and some storage bookshelves. How do we make storage bookshelves? Well, we do need to grab some spruce to explain this to it, but we should just be able to go ahead and make 3 of these. So let's do 1, 2, 3. And after that, it should be really simple. So let's just go ahead and grab our mirror out of the system. Looks like we're just going to craft this by hand. I've grabbed a few pearls because we need 4 of them. So let's do 1, 2, and then 3, 4. In case you're wondering where the pearls are coming from, let me show you and introduce you to... Oh, I need an enchantment table as well. That's right. What am I thinking? This should, again, be pretty straightforward. While that's coming up, let me just run over here. Well, maybe not. There we go. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Magic mirror. Now, let's just take a look at where our awesome pearls are coming from. We'll need to grab the blink spell. just to get over there. Now, this is a little bit painful for me, but I'm going to do it because this is important. Oh. Ow, 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 ow. Ugh, the worst. Let's just grab a little bit of sand. I found an oyster over here just the other day. And we put some sand in him. We call him Chip. And no problem. No, it's super easy. We just put some sand there, wait an hour or so, and boom, you've got another pearl. He makes them pretty fast. Oop. I seem to have gone too far. And now I'm back out here. This is great. It's fine. I'm just fine. There we go. But yeah, so we get different color pearls. Now the trick with Mariculture is that in many cases you need the same color of pearl to do anything with them. So it can be a little bit tricky. You're going to have to get a little bit patient, and maybe I can go out and find some more oysters, or get Sue to do it because she's so much more agreeable with seawater. But with this now, if we take a look, we can see that, oh, well, that uses a use. We actually can see the spell slots here for rings, earrings, and necklaces, and then we can enchant them here. Now, before we go any further, it's probably worth me grabbing some of these bottles of enchantment and getting my level up to something respectable. Now, let's see here. One thing we should be doing, well, let's just go ahead and do it. Now let's go ahead and make a ring. Should be straightforward to do. We have all these different rings, all sorts of interesting things. So we probably want to make one out of, looks like our choices are iron and gold. And most of these are made with string, it looks like. So we could make a string of pearls and, well, I don't know. Let's just go ahead and make a gold ring. So what does that look like? Well, I think we have, what kind of pearls do we have? We have red pearls. So let's take a look at a red pearl ring with gold. What's the recipe for this? Huh. What does the witch's guide say? Maybe it's just not in any eye. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we just need 7 gold ingots. And a red pearl. Hopefully this is a good, solid pearl colored and thing to choose. I don't really know the enchantability of these. The documentation is a little bit weak. And there we go. It appears to be a pretty lousy, unworked red pearl ring. So now we have this unworked ring. What do we got to do to get this to the next level? In a blacksmith's anvil. So what does a blacksmith's anvil look like? A blacksmith's anvil looks like it needs brick construction blocks, nether brick, and burnt brick. Burnt brick, we're going to need some vats. So here we go with the amazing awesomeness that is nether. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we need to make a vat. Here's a Mariculture vat. It's just copper. So let's see if we can go ahead and make, I don't know, 1, 2... We're missing copper ingots? No, we're not. It's just the wrong type. And we have a vat. Now, we may want to actually make another round of these, maybe 3 vats, because I think that here we're going to need a lot of lava. And we probably are going to want to run multiples of these at once. From what I've heard, these are pretty slow machines. So let's just go ahead and toss this right over here, this right here, and this right here. And let's fill these all up with lava. Right? And let me go ahead and fill these up with lava. And then I believe to get burnt bricks, we have to toss... let's go back to the blacksmith's anvil. We have to toss burnt brick, or blacksmith's anvil. And we'll need yeah, so for these, we need brick construction blocks. So we need a fair amount of burnt brick. In fact, we need 1, 2, 3, and then, so that's 12, 15 burnt brick. Well, I'm going to need some bricks, which means I'm going to need some clay. Let me go ahead and cook that up and fill these things up with lava, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, we're just finishing it up, and it occurs to me that not everybody may know how these machines work. It's actually really simple. All you have to do is basically just right-click things in, and then when other things appear, you can just right-click them right out. The machine really couldn't be simpler to use, and it's possible to load in more than one thing at a time. So let me go ahead and toss in the last of these. Okay, Bumperella, you're really quite... we all know you're there, Bumperella. We all know you're there. Between the rain and the frogs, it's a good thing that Luna is dismissed, or it would be positively intolerable here. There we go. So let's just go ahead and make our iron grating and toss these in the project table. We should have everything we need now to make these blocks. So we need 1, 2, 3, and with that left over, oh, we need to request a nether brick. Silly me, how could I forget? I guess we could just request 4 of these and then munge them together by hand. No problem. Because the uses for these, recipe for these is just 4 nether brick. Little bit elbow grease. There we are. Put these in, and we have a blacksmith's hammer now. Let's see if what else we need, because this tech tree. So now we put this on. Now we're going to need the blacksmith's hammer for sure. So what do we need for this? Oh, look, 3 more burnt bricks. What do you know? No problem. All right, let's get these in there, make our hammer. Now we need to work this. Sweat on our brow as we work the forge. Let's see. So what do we just left click it? I need to do this 320 times. I'm not sure that the hammer itself will hang up. How are we doing on this? So 3% worked. Okay, well, let's just let's get to it. We're almost done. Boom. Done. We actually have a red pearl ring. Okay, now, let's go ahead and see if we can get a little bit lucky with our enchants. I don't really know what we're going to get. Well, oh yes, that's right. There is one thing about this. So if we use this and we shift right click, we can tell it what level and how many levels to try using. This mirror can go up to a maximum of 30 levels before it goes back down. But the next tier up of mirror can go all the way up to 60, which is pretty absurd. And some of the enchants that we really want won't even show up with this tier of mirror amazingly. So let's go ahead and put this on. And I don't know, this looks cool. This looks, well, let's just do it. Unbreaking 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 4. I don't know if that's what we needed. Now, you'll notice I'm not moving any faster to start. But, well, I mean, I guess we could try again, too. But unbreaking is good. Before we do this, let's charge up a little bit of power. Meteorologics Reconto. There we go. And just a little bit of charge up for good measure. Rain, are you going to respond to the charm or what? There we go. Okay, now before we step outside, we have to go to the controls. And if we just look for Mariculture, this depends on the thing. So left control is the activate button for this particular thing. So we're wearing a ring now. You can't see it without looking in here, but it's there. Let's go ahead and hold down control and see if we go. So if we hold down this, we go this fast. With Sonic the Hedgehog, we go this fast, which is pretty good. It does seem to affect our air velocity. Now let's cast flight, and let's go up here and let's fly forward. Good speed. We hold down control. We get a slightly better result. So I would say this is probably not a success. Sue might appreciate this, but I'm going to remove it because I don't think that we need it. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. You're cool. Hey, buddy, could you get out of my my wormwood field? Oh, you got trephid seeds. Trephids? That could be cool. We have to be careful with those, but they're really fun. Let's go ahead and get some bones. That's what you wanted, right? Bones? Buddy? Whoa. Oh, man. Buddy, trade before you die. Okay, well, we got a trephid seed. That's cool. Maybe we could plant this, hide it somewhere funny in Bebop space. They're pretty funny. I'll show them to you when it makes more sense to. Are you still hiding over here, Mr. Skeleton? I saw you. Oh, well. Thought maybe I could talk to some friends. Right, why don't I try making another ring? since we don't have, it's going to be a lot easier this time since we don't have to worry about anything else. And then we'll continue with the enchants after that. I also need to grab some levels because obviously we're a little bit low in levels. Let's go ahead and try this enchantment again. Now this is obviously, this ring with the purple pearl was much, much easier to make. So I suspect it is a much worse ring because it took less than half the hits. So let's go ahead and turn this all the way up and hope that we get a better result this time. Something a little bit more interesting than speed, which we're pretty much the masters of already. Let's toss in 30 and blink 3. Now that could be really interesting. Let's put it on, toss this on. Now supposedly, if we left control click, control left click or control right click? Do we have to actually just carry it, maybe? Whoa. Let's try that again. Oh, wow. Whoa. Okay, we can aim at a wall? No, we have to aim at a floor. Holy smokes, guys. Does that mean that we could, in theory, aim through... Let's see if we could aim through a door. Nope, can't aim through a door. We have to be able to see it. But that opens up some really interesting possibilities. Let's grab a flight spell, brave this rain. I'm just tired of recharging my infusion power, so we're just going to deal with it. What is the range on this, I wonder? Could we go over here? We could. What about over there? We can. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool indeed. What about way over there? Nope, that's too far. But maybe right there? There. Yeah. Now, how is our ring actually doing? So it's actually pretty durable. Well, this is definitely a really cool ring. I wonder if we could maybe get some other tricks in hand to improve these rings and make ourselves just generally better at vanilla enchanting, because there are a lot of enchantments we need that we don't have yet. For example, we really do want the magic resistance enchant, and we're going to have to be a little bit tricky to get that onto our witchery armor, as it won't show up normally because of the methods that we use to enchant. We're also going to need to think about how to get more experience.